This is the Volkswagen Golf GTE. It's the classic hot hatchback and trades on a strong bloodline and offers lots and lots of fun.
But what if you want some hot hatch thrills for the weekend, but also slip silently and caringly through the city during the weekdays? Well, Volkswagen thinks it has combined the two in this, the Golf GTE.
Under the bonnet there's a 1.4 litre turbocharged petrol engine developing 148 brake horsepower. It's mated to a 6-speed dual clutch gearbox and an electric motor that produces 100 brake horsepower. Under the boot floor there's the car's lithium-ion battery.
That's right, shock horror, the classic VW hot hatchback has become a plug-in hybrid. Now how do you charge it up, I hear you ask? Well, it's perfectly simple. VW have cunningly hidden the charging point right behind the VW badge. Take out the little plug, stick in the connector, and if you've got a 3-point charger in your garage, stick it in and it takes 3 hours 45 minutes to charge up. Alternatively, if you've got a charging point at home or use one on the street, use the connector, stick it in, and it will take 2 hours 15 minutes, giving you a total electric range of 31 miles.
Obviously you need somewhere to store the cables, and you can do that by keeping them in this bag.
That leaves more than enough space for all your other items, such as a large suitcase, an umbrella, and the loading area is nice and wide, the boot floor is nice and high. The GTE does have a problem. Due to the batteries being stored underneath the boot floor, there is less boot volume. But of course, you can always rectify that some way by folding down the rear seats. And they fold down nice and flat, giving you extra boot space. Folding these rear seats back up is perfectly straightforward, and getting into the back of the Golf is actually quite an occasion because it's so lovely back here. It's really nicely made. 3 people can sit perfectly easily in here. The middle person, well, there will be a bit of a squeeze, and also there's a high little hump in the floor, but it's not too much for a problem. The black roof lining does make it feel a little bit claustrophobic, but there's more than enough knee room, more than enough headroom, and in the centre, in the armrest, there's 2 cup holders, and there's also a ski hatch if you want to go on your winter holidays. Inside, and it's typical Golf, so everything is just really nicely made. It's all logically laid out. I mean, I can shut my eyes and know where everything is. So there's the parking brake, there's the fan, there's the temperature, there's the volume knob, the lights, and the electric mirrors. There's also lots of cubby space as well. There's a big bin in here, 2 cup holders, a nice little space for your key. There's a little cubby in here to store other items such as your wallet, and there's an aux in and USB charging points.
But the real thing that differs this Golf over other Golfs is to be found in the central touchscreen. Go into car and you've got your e-manager that gives you all sorts of info on how environmentally friendly you're being. You can set departure times here, so when your GTE is plugged in, it can preheat the cabin.
Now the really interesting bit is to be found here, the driving mode selector. Now on startup, the GTE will perform in full electric mode, just like in Nissan Leaf, giving 31 miles of range and a top speed of 81 miles an hour. But there are other driving modes, such as hybrid auto, so it uses the battery hold, so it maintains the battery's charge, so you can use it when you get to a built-up low emission zone, such as London in the future, or battery charge, so whilst you're moving along, the battery is being charged up by the petrol engine.
Now with a petrol engine and electric motor, total power sits at 201 bhp, and yet it will return a claimed 166 mpg and emit just 31 grams per kilometre of CO2. That means it's free to tax and London congestion charge exempt.
If your commute is less than 30 miles a day and you've got a charging point at your house and at your final destination, then it is, in theory, possible to drive this car on full EV power without ever having the need to go to a petrol station. Now, unsurprisingly, when you're in full EV mode, it's totally silent in here, eerily so. But there is a slight tyre roar from the low-profile sports tyres. When you do need the power, the petrol engine kicks in silently and smoothly, and it's a really refined car to drive. The VW wants you to think of the GTE as a GTI that votes for the Green Party, but it isn't. You see, the GTE weighs more than the GTI, and you can really feel it. When you turn into a corner, it just doesn't feel as agile as a normal Golf, let alone the GTI. Happily, things do change when you press the GTE button. do that and the full power of the 1.4 petrol engine and the electric motor work together, giving you 201 brake horsepower. But put your foot on the throttle and it still doesn't really feel that fast. It's rapid, it's more of a warm hatchback as opposed to a full-on hot hatchback like the GTI. Think of the GTE as a green-minded GTI and you'll be disappointed, but think of it as a fast plug-in hybrid and it becomes very appealing. Now, for more on another eco-friendly Golf that has a strong GTI bloodline, click the video on the left for our review of the Golf GTD, or click on the right for our review of another premium hybrid hatchback, the Lexus CT200H. Click up there for our latest video and on our logo to subscribe.